Trump's win is good news for savers. The U.S. election results are creating new opportunities for retirees and people with savings. If you have money set aside, now could be a great time to look at savings options. The interest rate on 10-year Treasury bonds is nearing last year's highs after the election, which gave Republicans control of the White House, Senate, and possibly the House of Representatives. Rates on inflation-protected U.S. government bonds are also at levels not seen since the 2008 financial crisis. With 10-year Treasury rates near 4.7% and inflation-protected bond rates around 2.3%, these options offer a safe way to earn income compared to the ups and downs of the stock market. You can buy these bonds directly through brokerages or invest in them via mutual funds or ETFs. However, there is a risk that interest rates could keep rising. Even so, today's rates are a big improvement from before the election and are much higher than the lows we saw in September. On news of the red wave election, the interest rate on 10-year Treasury bonds increased by 0.2 percentage points to 4.44%. Rates on inflation-protected TIPS bonds also reached a 4-month high of 2.25% for long-term bonds. Long-term rates have risen as markets consider the budget and economic impact of the election. The Treasury market, which was already under pressure, saw a historic rise in yields following Trump's victory, said Lawrence Gillum, a top fixed-income strategist at LPL Financial. The team at TD Securities noted, Treasury rates spiked after Trump's win as markets anticipated higher deficits and inflation. They expect renewed tax cuts and other policies to add about $5 trillion to deficits over the next 10 years. Some experts believe Trump's policies, like deporting many immigrants and adding tariffs on imports, could raise inflation by 1% next year and by another 0.3% in 2026. If the government needs to borrow more money, it may need to pay higher interest to attract lenders. This will push up borrowing costs. Trump supporters may hope tax cuts will be offset by reduced spending, but 2/3 of the federal budget is tied up in Social Security, Medicare, defense, interest on debt, and veterans' benefits. This limits how much spending can be cut. Some question whether Trump might adopt modern monetary theory, MMT, which suggests printing money to cover deficits. This idea has been championed by Stephanie Kelton, an economist who advised Bernie Sanders. If Trump takes this approach, he would likely need more control over the Federal Reserve, something he has expressed interest in. Higher interest rates on U.S. Treasury bonds won't benefit everyone. The government will have to spend more tax dollars on interest payments, which is already one of the largest expenses in the federal budget, surpassing defense and Medicare. Rising long-term rates are also bad for people who already own bonds. When rates go up, bond prices fall. For example, the iShares Core U.S. Aggregate Bond ETF dropped 0.8%, the iShares 7 to 10-year Treasury Bond ETF fell 1%, and the Vanguard Extended Duration ETF, which invests in long-term Treasury bonds, lost 4% after the election. People worried about inflation hurting their bonds might want to consider TIPS bonds, which adjust their annual interest payments based on inflation. Ordinary Americans hold about $5.1 trillion in bond mutual funds and ETFs, plus another $1.7 trillion in mixed stock and bond funds, according to the Investment Company Institute. Hey everyone! I just wanted to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you. Your support, comments, likes, and shares mean the world to me. This channel wouldn't be what it is today without your incredible enthusiasm and engagement. Thank you for being part of this journey, for your continuous encouragement, and for making this community so special. Let's keep growing, learning, and having fun together. Stay tuned for more exciting content, and as always, feel free to share your thoughts and suggestions. Your feedback is invaluable. With heartfelt thanks, Team Buzzwire.